I think most guys have more of an impact at receiver than I did.
Yeah, but I remember that one catch, Miami. 2011. That
80-yarder, 60, 70-yarder.
Tom would have never threw for over 500 yards that game if you didn't catch that bomb.
I contributed 46 yards.
46.
I remember. Why do we all remember Slate's only catch
I appreciate
to the
that.
T?
Stock.
That was the year Wes Welker had the 99 yarder.
That's right.
Yeah. I had the little, the little 10-yard out for the touchdown.
That's right.
I jumped off sides on a 2-point conversion.
Yes, that's right too.
We try to forget that one.
Yeah, we did.
We brought it one-headed, and that was the last of it.
But we were all so pumped when you caught that pass.
And I appreciate that, fellas.
Welcome to Dudes on Dudes. I'm Julian Edelman.
I'm Rob Gronkowski.
And this is the show where your favorite dudes get to talk about their favorite dudes.
Today, we're joined by our pal, the captain, the man on a mission on and off the field, Matthew Slater.
Fellas, appreciate you having me.
What are we talking about today?
Well, what it's like to live with you, Julian.
The fact that you and I used to live together is proof that we were slapping.
No furniture.
One of my favorite dudes of all time. He beat double teams by just bullying people, and he played with an edge. This guy's an animal.
And a whole lot of special teams talk.
You are the kicking game. You're the punt game. You're the gunner game.
Teamer.
And then we wrap it up by finding out what kind of dude Matthew Slater is in this week's Chillest Dude of the Week, presented by Coors Light.
Gotta stick around to the end.
Dudes on Dudes is a production of iHeartRadio.
Jewish worries, Chicken Little, sky is falling at all times, happily miserable with me.
And that's why we love you.
Loves God, knows everything will be right because of his faith. And Rob's just a golden retriever.
Mm-hmm.
He's just happy to happy.
Rob stays.
Just happy to be there, even if it's going terrible or if it's going great.
He's just happy.
I just find the best out of
Rob's
the
default
situation.
setting is optimism.
Optimism.
He's gonna always be optimistic. So.
Even if it's going terrible, I'll be like, well, tomorrow can only get
That's
better,
right.
you know? You got to always have a down practice every once in a while to understand what's going on. You got to have a down episode every once in a while,
right.
too.
It makes you appreciate the good ones.
Yeah, it really does. You can't have the greatest day all the time, you know? You can't, but it makes every other day blossom.
It makes every other day better. Now, we just warmed up, and this is a very special episode.
Special in many occasions, literally and physically and literatively.
All three, the trifecta in a good way, not in the way that we all think about. Today, we are joined by our good friend, our old teammate, and the man that we love to call the captain.
Mm-hmm. Our leader.
10-time Pro Bowler.
5-time All-Pro.
Member of the Patriots All-Dynasty team.
Leader just not on the field, but off the field as well. And 3-time Super Bowl champion.
And one of the greatest special teamers of all time. According to Bill Belichick, the greatest special teamer of all time.
And on top of, according to Bill Belichick, he's greater than his dad as well.
Oh, I'll take that. Matthew Slater, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
What is life looking like these days?
I'm in full dad mode right now.
Full dad mode.
I'm enjoying my time at home. In a transition season of life, looking to go back to school, actually, hoping to get my MBA soon. So been applying to schools. I feel like a teenager again. It's like doing these essays and looking into school, but I'm excited. I'm enjoying this transition and looking forward to the next chapter.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
Well, can you explain to me real quick what it's like to be a dad? Because Julian, you're a dad. Matthew, you're a dad. How many kids do you have now?
I have 4.
So what's that like? Because my brothers all have kids too. It looks like the best feeling. Can you explain to me? Because I might have to get into it right away.
It is. There's no joy like
We're talking baby for Rob.
Whoa.
We're talking baby for Rob.
I mean, all the dads around here, they're all happy dads.
Well, Rob,
you know?
there's no feeling like it. I mean,
None.
the joy you get when you're with your children, it's just undescribable.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 4 kids, so it's chaos at all times, especially with 3 sons. But you talk about how parents are meant to instruct and teach their kids. I learn more from my kids every day by just watching them and observing them and watching them grow up than they could probably ever learn from me. So it's been a blessing to be a dad.
Mm-hmm. That's
Man,
good
like
to hear,
what do
man.
you learn? What is one thing that you remember you learned from your kids? This is really good.
Man, you know what? Honesty and transparency.
Honesty and transparency.
If I ever try to just, skirt the line of truth, my kids would call me out quick.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't say that yesterday, or mommy said this.
Yeah.
So they hold your feet to the fire every day.
So you're teaching them accountability. You're in full daddy daycare. So from the looks of it, it's going pretty good, even though you were a little late to this because your 3-year-old lost your keys. So we know what kind of dad
It's
Slady
survival.
is.
It's survival. Trust me, it's survival, especially with that 3-year-old. It's tough.
That's awesome. Now let's jump into football. What's your first memory of New England?
Wow. I think I go back to 2008 when I got drafted by the team. The first phone call I got from Coach Belichick, and the way my college career had gone, I played a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense, but had mostly played in the kicking game. And I'll never forget, he calls me and he's like, look, when you talk to the media, let's not talk about what position you're going to play. I'm bringing you here to help us in the kicking game, and we'll figure out where you're going to play. So I always reference that conversation with him because he set the expectation for me. It was very clear what my role was going to be, what was expected of me when I got here. And, it was a unique time to come to the team. They were undefeated in 2007. So, sitting in that first team meeting, Bill was like, look, we just went undefeated last year. We don't need any of you guys. So it was humbling. It was
Typical
humbling.
Bill.
You're just like, all right, I got to come in here. I got to work and put my head down. And I'm going to have to earn everything that comes my way. So
What's it like to exceed Coach Belichick's expectations, but also deliver exactly what he told you were going to be? Like literally, he said, we need you in the kicking game, and you came through like no other.
You are
in the kicking game. You are the kicking game. You're the punt game. You're the gunner game.
Teamer.
You're everything with the special teams. And he told you that from the beginning, and you took it to a whole nother level. What's it like to deliver for someone that drafted you and promised you that you were going to, be in that role and just exceed it?
it meant a lot, Rob. I mean, I think some people criticized the pick when they drafted me in the 5th round because it's like you're drafting a special teams player this high. And, there were a lot of questions about whether or not my dad had connections in New England, and that's how I ended up here, which was not the case at all. So I definitely wanted to show people that Coach made the right decision in placing his faith in me. It meant a lot to me to be able to play for him for 16 years and hopefully do a good job. I assume I did a good job because he kept me around all that time. But yeah, it certainly meant a lot. I think, we grew up in an era where you wanted to please your coach. Like it meant everything as a football player to go out there and get a boy or a good job from your coach. And, I really appreciate Bill for giving me the opportunity that he did.
Here's a deep question that you just brought up because you said you stuck around for 16 seasons. Julian, in free agency, you almost left at one time. Myself, I got traded and I told Coach, no, Coach, I'm retiring. And was there ever a time in your career where you and Coach were kind of butting heads, you were a free agent, and you almost left, but you knew your heart was here, just like Julian and I knew our heart was here as well, here in New England.
Look at
with
this
us
question.
special fellows. So was there a time
Who is this guy?
where you almost left?
Who the fuck is
Was
this?
there a time?
That's a spitball question.
I'll tell you my time. He traded me. I said,
know
no,
what?
Coach, I'm a Patriot, man. I'm going down as a Patriot this year.
there was a time-
You're not sending me to Detroit. You almost went to the Giants.
I almost went to the Giants.
Thank God
and the
you didn't go
Niners.
to the Giants.
I
And the
remember that.
Niners.
And I remember the Detroit, and I think for me, I think we all have at least one moment in
It
time.
happens to every single NFL
And
player at one point in
no
their career.
question.
Especially
it's
in
just
New
part of the
England.
business, right? So I think for me, in 2017, I got hurt in training camp, and I missed some time over the course of the year. My contract was up at the end of the year, and the negotiations weren't going great.
What year is this?
This is going
2017.
into 2018.
I know, but what year is it in your career?
So this is year 11.
Ooh.
No respect, and it's year 11.
You think you've done your best for the team, and then So, I told my agent at that point, once I saw how negotiations were going, I said, hey, we're going to have to look to get out of here. And I went down to Pittsburgh, took a visit there. We talked about this on games, and really enjoyed Pittsburgh, really enjoyed my time there. And when I was in the airport on the way back, I got a call from Bill.
Happens the same way.
And he's like, well, what's going on? I thought we were good. I thought we were on the same page. I was like, well, Coach, we're not on the same page. And thankfully we were able to work through it and, ended up coming back, obviously, and finishing my career there. And that next year we won the Super Bowl. So I'm glad I didn't leave, but it's a reminder that this game is a business, and we've all experienced the business side of it. And I didn't take it personally at all, but I also understood that I had a responsibility to my family and myself to do what was best for us.
Well, that was 2017 going into the year 2018. That was the same exact year that I was traded going into the 2018 season. And then I came back for one more year in New England, and we won the Super Bowl.
We won a
so
Suki.
Thank you, Slater, for staying. Thank you to myself for staying, and thank you for staying, the years before that as well. If we didn't stick together, we would have never won that last Super Bowl.
Yeah. We talk about this business side. That's all the scary stuff. The fun stuff that kept us all in the locker room was the team stuff. Let's jump into that. Who was the funniest guy in the locker room?
Oh my gosh. I mean, there were so many guys with great personalities over the years. The two of you being right up near the top. But I think the guy that we laughed the most probably at more than with was Nico.
Nikovich.
We had a lot of good laughs at
Very
Rob's
bullyable
expense,
guy.
but he was like our little brother, like the team's official little brother. We all love Rob, but I think about Rob. I think about Gerard. He was a lot of fun. And then the McCourties were great.
Funny.
Low-key
Dev
funny.
was hilarious.
A-hole funny. Dev is A-hole funny.
That's that New York in him.
Yeah.
That's that New York in him.
Sweetheart.
Always coming at
Sweetheart.
the offensive guys.
Right? But it was, man, we had so many great guys on that team over those years. It was a lot of fun.
One of my favorite was Ventrone, the suburban poet.
Rusty Benson.
Rusty Benson. He was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I have to give Ornberger his flowers.
Oh yeah. Ornberger is 100% the funniest guy.
And then we can't forget about Light, the Godfather.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this guy got into digital videos back before there was even digital video stuff, making funny videos to give to the team. Remember when he did the Harry Carey thing?
I mean, it was unbelievable. Light, we've all heard the stories about Light as a prankster. He had Mike Wojcik, our old strength coach, not talking to me for 2 or 3 months because I helped him with a prank one time. He stole Harold Nash's car, and then I vouched that there was somebody in the parking lot that I saw taking it. So he looped me into that. And then Rich. The fact that Rich was on IR and Bill brought him down to the Super Bowl in Indianapolis just to entertain the team.
Yeah.
And I think we all got a taste of that when he was on games. He's the best storyteller I've ever been around. He's just so funny. You can't be around Rich without laughing.
That is one thing about Coach Belichick as well, is that even if a player was on IR, but he was a great locker room guy or he was like a bubble guy, Coach Belichick always knew to keep that 1 or 2 guys around in the locker room that gelled the whole entire team. And Rich Unberger being one of those guys,
oh my gosh,
making it anyone laugh at any time, no matter what he's doing. If he's just showering, if he's getting ready for practice, if he's in the training room getting taped up, just the way he talks is just hilarious. But Coach Belichick, you got to give him credit in that category for just having that guy in the locker room.
Always had a guy
to keep that team gelled together.
Oh, for sure.
Another one, Nico Kudavides.
Nico.
Oh, classic.
Oh man, we had some characters, man. We really did.
Which goes into another question: who were the slappies of the locker room?
Oh, we had a lot of slappies.
We had a lot of slappies.
And I'll put in our category. We were slappies.
No doubt.
Or me and Slay, you were never a slappy.
You were never a slappy.
At one point,
you were never a
came in the
slappy.
man. No.
At one point,
We
I
had
was
10
a slappy.
touchdowns a rookie year.
I was a
never
slappy my first half of my rookie year.
No.
I was
For
a
like 2
slappy
days.
in training
For like 2
camp.
days.
Yeah.
All right, 2
1
days.
hour.
I want to be a slappy, okay?
I know you wanted to be a slappy.
The fact that you and I used to live together is proof that we were slappies.
No furniture.
And this is before JE11. This was just Jules. This was not Hall of Fame. Julian Edelman. It wasn't Hall of Famer.
Now. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah. Who lived at,
that's when we really. That's when we really loved this guy. When it wasn't JE11
And
yet.
he started changing his hair.
Didn't have a podcast
doing all this
yet.
beard. Like it's, he changed it up.
You know the JE11 came about making fun of Tom.
Did it really?
And the
Is that what it
TV
started?
I started it by making a JE11. Because remember, Tom used to wear his
He did. The
TV12
TV12.
out.
Mhm.
I one day just made a JE11 just to make fun of him, and then started selling it.
And then
Caught
here we
on.
are.
And here we are.
Profiting off.
And now we're at the nut house.
I mean, Tom was ahead of the game. He was one of the first
was.
ones to kind of like, make a brand
Make
with
his
a
own
symbol
brand,
as well.
definitely.
And who doesn't have that now? Any top player in the NFL
Right.
has a brand. So if you really look at it, Tom kind of created that, with
He
the
really did.
TB12 symbol. So he was a genius. He's always ahead of the game,
He's
though. And
years
Jules,
ahead.
hey, great job making fun of him. It
Yeah.
caught on.
Yeah. Hey.
Turn it into a business.
Oh, all right. Who was the guy, Slate, that took you under your wing? I mean, the coaching staff, of course. Scotty O'Brien taught you a lot, but who was that player that took you under the wing and taught you what to do out there on the field in the special teams world?
Yeah. I mean, look, I was really fortunate to come to the team at a very special time where that old guard was still around and those guys with so much experience, championship experience. So just being able to follow around Larry Izzo, my rookie year was huge.
Huge.
I mean, Larry was like the godfather of special teams in New England, had so much success, had a tremendous career. So I watched him. I followed him around like a puppy dog. Just, all right, Larry's in the cold tub. I'm in the cold tub. Larry's watching film. I got to go watch film. And he was a great mentor. Another guy, not a special teamer, but Benjamin Watson
B-Watt.
was someone who really showed me how to be a man, showed me how to be a pro.
Professional.
He just one of the best men I've ever known. And then a blast from the past, Sam Aiken.
Sam Aiken.
Sam Aiken.
Shout out Sammy Aiken. He had the sickest car too. Took me in that thing to hug my back. He'd take me to Providence.
He was a special teams captain after Larry, and Sam was great about just making me feel like, hey, you belong here. Like you're one of us. Showed me how to be a pro. So tremendous mentors early on in my career.
Sam was the same way for me as well. Like he was just a good dude, and he was he was a strong receiver.
He
too.
was. He was like 220.
He was
One
big.
of the bigger guys.
Yeah.
He was
big,
big.
big arms.
Yeah.
All right, before
Yeah.
we jump in to the dude that you picked, we got to have one. What's the one Gronk story that sticks out? One Gronk story that just a Gronk.
Hey, you can even go back to your college days.
Ooh,
Face
at
each
the
other in
AD.
college as well.
Oh, yeah.
We battled.
Oh, I remember
We
our
battled.
defensive coordinator,
I like this story.
Dwayne
That's
Walker.
why I'm leading him this way.
Dwayne Walker. We're getting ready to play these guys. What'd you wear, 49 in college?
48.
48.
That was my high school number. Everyone
And,
knew who 48 was.
This guy,
Everyone on
Dwayne
campus.
Walker, butchering my man's name. They got this Gronkowski out there. Like, we got to account for this guy.
I like that.
I mean, and Gronk was obviously dominant in college.
18 years old, I was facing him.
He was a man-child. But, I mean, look, I think one of the stories, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, Rob. So the weekend that Rob got drafted, I was down in New York with Kevin O'Connell
KOC.
and Ryan Wendell.
Wendy.
Kevin was with us my rookie year, ended up at the Jets, so we were visiting him. And we're walking the streets of New York, and we see Gronk. Now, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen.
I was already drafted.
No, you weren't drafted yet.
See, he already knew who I was.
You weren't drafted yet.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, yeah, that's that tight end from Arizona. I think he's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Fast forward, we draft him, and he turned out to be pretty doggone
dang
good.
good.
So,
Hey, what was I doing on the streets? What was I doing
probably
at
just
that
doing
time?
some Gronk stuff, just having a good time, enjoying life. But yeah, man, that was a pretty full circle moment.
All right, that's
So,
really cool.
yeah.
And before we get started as well, I got to obviously ask you a question about Jules then. What was he like as a roommate? And how many years were you guys roommates as well?
I think it's been documented a million times.
I mean, I know it's probably around
4
like
years.
7.
We're
Oh,
4
only
years.
4? Oh,
and
that's
I,
all.
and I'll
All
say
right.
this about, because we've laughed a lot about us being roommates and
I
made
didn't take out the
jokes.
trash.
But honestly, like, I think
You still don't.
it's
Still
a
don't.
great example of two guys being able to find common ground. Like, Jules and I are different people, different interests, but our relationship's always been built on respect and, respecting the other guy. And really, our friendship goes back to that. So I know for me, if we don't spend those 4 years together, my career probably doesn't go the way that it went.
Same for me.
And I tried to, be a positive influence on him as well.
Sprinkling
So
that holy water on me.
Yeah. And before we get started, another question just popped to my mind. Do you this humble Jules more now that he's retired, giving credit to everyone else? Or do you like that Jules that always had a chip on his shoulder every time he stepped in that locker room, just attacking whoever he can attack, going after whoever he needed to go after? Yeah, kind of. He's a team asshole. Who do you like more? Because I love this Jules.
I love,
but also, I do miss.
Yeah,
I do miss him. I'm like, come on, Jules. Every once in a while, I try to get out of him. He's like, no.
Look,
what do you say?
the humility. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
honestly, he brought an edge to our football team that we needed. I mean, it made people uncomfortable. It made people better. I still think about conditioning with him and how if I wasn't ready to go, he was going to embarrass me. Like he pushed everybody around him to be better. I remember him yelling at guys. We almost got in fights on the sidelines, but it made me better. It made our team better. So I kind of miss that guy. I'm not going to lie. I kind of miss that guy.
That's a great answer.
Around this time of the year, an assholeness that pops into my head is usually, the veterans are coming off the field from their conditioning or something. You go in, you see the new draft picks. And I would always yell in there, "Oh, you guys bringing these guys in to take my fucking job?" I go in the cafeteria, "Is this guy taking my job?" But that was the same thing that I heard from Brewski.
That's right.
And Kevin Falk.
Right.
It was a standard where, like, you better bring your A game because it made them work harder, and you wanted to get the best out of them because it was going to get the best out of you.
That's right.
So
absolutely.
All right, Jules. You know what really gets me heated in the summer? When you're at the airport, delayed 3 hours, and someone decides to eat tuna next to you.
Oh,
that's when I gotta choose chill.
100%. For me, outdoor weddings in July, tucks on, sweating like I just ran a post route in Miami.
Exactly. Summer's supposed to be about good times. Tailgates, rooftop hangs, boat days with the crew, not sweating the small stuff.
We've got ball games lined up, summer concerts, backyard football, whatever it is, you better believe we're showing up with a cooler full of Coors Light.
So whatever chaos summer throws your way, make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light.
Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dudes.
Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer.
All right, let's get into pick slate.
All right.
Of what dude he picked for this week's episode. Let's set the clock to 10 minutes. Rob, get the AI synopsis ready.
Here we go. This is what we do, Slay. Every guy that we're talking about, I do a little AI synopsis on him. I read off what AI says about the guy just to get a quick summary so we understand who we're talking about. So let's get on to it.
AI world.
All right, here we go.
Standing at 6'5" tall and weighing 220 pounds, this former NFL wide receiver and special teams ace carved out a 12-year professional career after entering the league as an undrafted free agent in 2003. Despite going undrafted, he earned 3 Pro Bowl selections and was named first-team All-Pro in 2007, solidifying his reputation as one of the best special teamers of his era. Let's get on Kassim Osgood.
There it is.
Oh, look at that mohawk.
There it is.
Oh,
Mr. Osgood.
Is he one of the first ones to, start that trend of one of those wild haircuts, dyeing the mohawk, shaving the sides as an NFL player?
I think that photo sums it up. Now, for me, when I came into the league, and I think for all of us, it was very important that you learn from other players, guys that had come before you that had success in the league.
Captain answer already. Just feel captain.
And
this is why he was
Scott
Belichick's
O'Brien
kid.
Came to the team my second year, and my rookie year wasn't great. And Scott really challenged me to find ways to make myself better. And there were 2 guys that he used to call the name of all the time: Brendan Iambandejo and then Kassim Osgood. And he would look at me and say, "You ain't no Osgood." And I was like, "Yeah, I know I'm not Osgood. He's been in 3 Pro Bowls. This guy's an animal." But we would sit there in the offseason and we would study Kassim. And I'm a big believer in taking from other guys' games. Like, hey, if this guy does this well, has a lot of success, let me try to incorporate it. The problem was Kassim is 6'5", 220.
Big boy.
I'm 6 feet 205.
Fast though.
So I'm thinking, I'm looking at Scott. I'm saying, Scott, I can't play like this guy. This guy's an animal out there. But what I learned from Kassim, and when people think about gunner play, there are a lot of ways to play gunner. A lot of the guys that you see now are finesse players. They win with speed. They use their hands. They use quickness and counter moves. Kassim just beat people up. I mean, he was the one who initiated contact. He beat double teams by just bullying people, and he played with an edge. I mean, this guy played with an edge. Like, you see that hair right there. You see that. That's a guy who's got an edge.
You got edge.
So the one thing I took from his game was, when you come out here, you should be the hammer, not the nail. And you got to play with an edge. Like, there's got to be something, there's got to be some kind of dog in you that pushes you to go out here and find a way to beat double teams consistently. So, I mean, look, I never was able to be as physical as a guy like that, but I tried to incorporate more physicality into my game after watching him. And, he's one of the OGs. So salute Kassim.
Kassim. I think I said Kassim, right?
Kassim.
I'm sorry, Kassim.
We'll have to go to him for
Kassim.
We need
official.
I like both
I just
of them.
remember as Osgood. He was Osgood.
Well, I can tell you
Osgood.
this. You can go back to Scotty O'Brien and you can tell him that, yeah, you're not as good as Osgood because you're Oz great, Slater.
Oh!
Yeah, so Scotty, in your face, baby.
Gronk with the 3. Now, have you ever met him?
We've met in passing. As when he was with Jacksonville and the Lions and the 49ers, I introduced myself, as he was winding his career down and I was kind of getting mine going. But we've never had a chance to really sit down and have a conversation. But, man, if I could, I would say thank you. Because he was one of the guys that paved the way. I think, you think about Tasker, obviously the Godfather, but there were guys that came after him that continued to shine a light on the importance of the third phase of the game. And Kassim was one of those guys that did that. And, I think the value he brought to his team showed teams like the Patriots, hey, it helps to have a guy like this.
And then on top of the value as well, he was such a great special teamer. And Slate, you were such a great special teamer, but you helped contribute to our team in so many other ways, in the locker room, off the field as well. But on the scout team, you would be a defender going against us, guarding me, guarding Julian, and then you would also be a wide receiver in the scout team. You'd be taking first team reps sometime. So you were just an overall just teammate, team player at all times. Was Kassim, was he also an impact in the receiving game, out on the football field? I don't know too much about him. I mean, this is great that you're talking about him because I'm learning about him. What else did he do besides special teams?
Yeah, you know what? He did have some impact as a receiver. I think most guys have more of an impact at receiver than I did.
Yeah, but I remember that one catch, Miami.
I got the
Miami.
2011. That
80-yarder, 67-yarder.
Tom would have never threw for over 500 yards that game if you didn't catch that bomb.
I contributed 46
You did.
yards.
46.
I remember. Why do we all remember Slate's only catch
I appreciate
to the
that.
T?
Stock.
I appreciate
That was the year Wes
238
Welker had the
wide sock.
99 yarder.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had the little 10-yard out for the touchdown.
That's right.
I jumped off sides on a 2-point conversion.
Yes, that's right too.
We try to forget that one.
Yeah, we did.
We
You're
tried
the
to
We
one
brought
who
it
brought it up.
one-headed, and that was the last of it.
But we were all so pumped when you caught that pass.
And I
too.
appreciate that, fellas. But no, he did have some a little bit of success as a receiver, and I think, like most of us, there was always the desire to contribute as much as you can. Like, look, the reality is when I came in the league, I wanted to make the team and I wanted to do it however I could. But you always want to improve. You always want to contribute more. And I know he felt the same. As I recall, toward the end of his tenure in San Diego, there was more of a desire for him to play receiver. And that may have led to his departure when he headed to Jacksonville. I don't want to misspeak, but I think that factored into it. So he did some things as a receiver.
Cal Poly.
Cal Poly, and then went to San Diego State. So, I know I don't want to speak for him, but I know he wanted to play probably more receiver. We all did want to play more receiver, but you got to do what you're good at, and he was pretty doggone good at covering kicks.
We want to resign you here, but you're not going to play receiver, just special teams. Me not wanting to be put in a corner, as Patrick Swayze said in Dirty Dancing, nobody puts baby in a corner.
Well, there it is.
Osgood said that when leaving.
So I didn't misspeak. That factored into him.
It did. He wanted to play some wide receiver.
For Jacksonville.
He wanted to
It
play
makes
some
sense.
receiver.
Everyone's always trying to amp up the
absolutely.
game, get some glory. I mean, that's who you are as a competitor, you know?
Absolutely.
Doesn't always work out. Did it work out in this case when he went to Jacksonville? Did he make an impact?
Not quite the way he thought it would.
All right.
Did you see him at a Pro Bowl?
I didn't. Because there's only one Pro Bowl spot we were competing for towards the end there of his career. So we never crossed paths at a Pro Bowl.
Did you go to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii?
I did.
Ooh, can you give us a little
fun.
What was it like?
The Hawaii one. That's what we all remember.
I actually never been to a Pro Bowl. I've been
have you never
inducted
played one?
into Pro Bowls, but I never went to one. I never played in one.
Yeah.
So explain to us what it's like, Slate.
I mean, I'll say this: the Hawaii Pro Bowl was really special for me because I got to go as a kid with my dad.
Oh yeah,
and I remember getting the experience there, and I never dreamed that I have an opportunity to do it as a pro. But Hawaii, the people of Hawaii are
love
just so nice. They're so kind. It's paradise. The food is fantastic. We were still playing real football at the time.
Yeah.
So there was contact, there was tackling, pads, helmets. Now they're running around. And
Was there kickoffs too? Like
there were
live kickoffs? They were
in
doing
my
that?
first Pro Bowl, there
At
were
the Pro Bowl?
live
Yeah. Really?
kickoffs. Live.
Wow.
I'm running down next
breaking
to,
wedges.
Yeah, it was kind of wild.
No
When
way,
you
man.
think about
That
it, it was
is
kind of wild.
Holy
Yeah.
We
moly.
were covering full kickoffs.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the Pro Bowl we gotta get the Pro Bowl back to Hawaii.
I agree.
Look at Slate.
There it is. Full head of
Slate
hair.
Mayo.
Full head of hair. Right
Did
there.
wifey
that.
approve of that picture with the
That
Hawaiian
was
cheerleaders?
before we were married.
All right,
Yeah,
now we're talking. So you were a dog back in the day.
That's just a photo op. That's a photo op right there.
All right.
Now, who's the best special teamer in the league right now?
I mean, look, I have extreme bias, but to me, it's Brendan Schooler.
Schooler. So I'm at a wedding.
That's not being biased. He went to the Pro Bowl. He was
Look,
all pro.
yeah, he was all pro.
He get voted by everyone in the league. That
right?
makes sense.
It speaks for itself. And to me, there's really no weakness in his game when you look at him. We always talk about covering kicks and making plays, impacting coverage, but in the return game, it's very rare that the guy he's blocking will even be close to the football.
Wow.
I mean, he's a dominant player in the return game. So
What about punt
School, I love.
punt return? Is he a good blocker in punt return?
He's a great blocker in punt return.
Was he on the Vice?
And that's the thing, position flexibility. He can play in the vice, but he also plays in the box. He can also rush punts. I mean, he can do a lot. He's a freaky athlete. He really is. So, I love him. There are a lot of guys in the league that are
the
great.
Vice is.
The Vice. We need context on the Vice.
We need context on the Vice. The Vice. Go ahead, Slate.
The Vice. So when you go out there, the two guys on the perimeter of the punt team are the gunners. When you go across from them on the punt return team, the two guys that go out to double team the gunner, that's the Vice.
The Vice.
So it'll be a corner and a safety body type usually that double that gunner. The good ones anyway. If you're getting singled, you're probably not doing a great job.
Or they're
there.
kicking away.
Right. So the Vice players, you'd see a lot of. We put our best athletes out there. We put the McCourties out there for years. We put Aqib Talib out there. Chung was out there. I mean, we put a lot of good players out there. Made life difficult for opposing gunners.
What was it like? You were all pro special teamer, and then Schooler, all pro special teamer, but you were the one coaching him last year, in New England. What was the one piece of advice that you were giving Schooler and that you would give to other special teamers as well, being an all pro and then coaching, the special teamers now?
Man, Rob, I really feel fortunate to have played with Brendan and then had the opportunity to coach him. Our relationship is a special one because, I'm much older than him, but for whatever reason we clicked. And our friendship is one that I really, really value. But I think to me, I saw early on, like, hey, this kid's got it. And to really take it to the next level, he's got to have an understanding that it's got to be day after day after day. You guys know this. Nobody shows up in the game and just makes plays. Like, what did Coach always say? Practice execution becomes game reality.
Yeah.
So once he had that register for him and it registered early on, you really saw him elevate and keep getting better. And, you know, we used to say to our guys, like, hey, look, it's not by accident that Brendan is having the success that he's having. Look at how he practices.
Yep.
He's practicing harder than everybody on our football team. He's running full speed. Guys are complaining because he's going too hard. Like, that's how you need to work to have success, and he understands that.
Wait. We got to get back to Osgood first off. He's an actor?
He's an actor. Yes.
Jericho, We Were Soldiers, Road Rules.
I've read this about him. He's should we say, aspiring actor? I don't know that I've seen any of those.
We Were Soldiers was a big one.
Yeah.
Jay Glazer introduced the two.
Okay.
With what?
Michael Clark Duncan. Green Mile.
Wow. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
So you act?
I don't act. I'm not as talented as Brother Osgood. I don't have that.
Have you ever acted?
I've never acted.
Not even in like a Patriots schedule release video?
Oh, I did one of those.
I knew you were an actor.
do one of
I
those.
knew you were, buddy.
You're an actor.
You are.
They find a way to get you into those schedules.
They get you.
Don't they?
What was it like? Just shining?
It was we did a retirement house theme one year.
That one was
right
real
after
good.
McCourty
I
had
remember
retired.
that. Yeah.
So Ernie
Real
was
good.
there. I dropped D-Mac off
Yeah.
at the house. Ivan was there. They do a good job with those.
Those are fun.
Yeah,
those are
those
fun.
are
They had
fun.
what, the Prez on this year.
Did
But
they have the Prez on?
Oh,
They
he
did.
did great.
He did
Man.
He
good.
was hilarious.
That's
Broke down
awesome.
every week.
Time. Kassim Osgood. Now we got to see
Figure out.
what kind of dude
Yeah,
is
we'll
he?
figure out what kind of dude.
What kind of
Kassim.
dude is Osgood?
Is he a
Slate?
stud?
Is he a
Freak?
stud? A guy that was born with athleticism, football IQ through the roof, well-rounded, always the guy? Or is he a freak, unparalleled physical ability, a one of one? Or is he a dog, relentless, motivated, physically and mentally tough? Is he a whiz? He's got intellect, innovative. He's clutch. He's a whiz. He's very wizardy. Or is he a dude's dude, positive attitude to bring the locker room together, a guy that's calm, cool, and collected, or just a guy that is in there to make the locker room better?
Well,
What do you think he is? What kind of dude is he?
I'm going right off top. Dog.
He's dog.
He's
1,000
dog. I mean, when I tell you this guy used to bully guys, he was a bully out there, man. It was like he enjoyed imposing his will on smaller corners and safeties. Straight dog.
So just to describe Osgood as a whole, you're saying he wasn't really one of the gifted athletic guys out there. He made it because he was just an absolute savage on the football field, and he wanted it
He's
more.
6'4".
And he was willing to take on
he's
anyone
6'5".
anytime.
He's 6'5",
All right.
220.
So he was
definitely
gifted as well in that
he got
category.
some stud in him
Yeah,
too.
he
now.
did. Okay.
But
Okay.
he's probably a hybrid stud dog.
All right.
I haven't seen very many 6'5".
You're not allowed to have two categories, Slay. It's just
All
one.
right, dog. I'm staying with dog.
all right.
I'm staying with dog.
I agree. You know, usually special teamers are dogs or of some sort, especially a guy like his story, undrafted guy.
Right.
To go and become a 12-year pro with nothing but really special teams on his resume. I know we talk about receiver, and that's why he signed to San Diego, but he's known as a teamer. That's
That's
a
right.
dog.
That's right.
That's a dog.
Summer is here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats.
What do you mean by almost?
Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get chicken parmesan delivered.
A day at the lake? That's a no.
A Philly cheesesteak? That's a yes.
A nice tan? Sorry, no. But a box fan? Happily, yes.
What about a day of sunshine? Not happening. A box of fine wines? Yes, that's happening. Delivery on its way.
Okay, how about some clear skies? Nope.
Well then, how about some French fries? Yep.
A cabana? No, not that. A banana? Yes, that.
How about a freshly cut lawn? Can't help you there. But a barbecued prawn? Order it and it's on its way. Even throw in some paper towels to clean up after the feast.
So while you can't get fun in the sun delivered, don't worry because you can get pork buns delivered. Uber Eats can definitely get you that.
Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now.
Alcohol in select markets, product availability may vary by region. See app for details. Let's get into this week's Chillest Dude of the Week brought to you by our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dude. And remember, celebrate responsibly. Slate doesn't drink beer.
Yeah, but he'll at least hold a beer for us.
He doesn't
No,
drink beer.
good. I'll double fist. Give me 2. One for you, Slate.
Rob will
One for
double
me.
fist. What are Scotty always
One
call
for you,
these
brother.
Colorado Kool-Aid?
Colorado Kool-Aid.
Colorado
Scotty did love
Kool-Aid.
the Coors Lights.
Ain't nothing like a
He's probably
Colorado
drinking one on his
Kool-Aid.
fishing boat right
He
now.
probably
Catching
is.
some sea bass.
He probably is.
Cheers, brother. Slate.
There it is.
One for you, one
There it
for
is.
me,
Hey,
man.
who's the chillest dude of the week?
Our boy, the captain, Matthew Slater.
Appreciate you guys.
And
fellas.
what we're going to do is we're going to sit and ask Slate some questions, and we're going to determine what kind of dude Slate is.
Off of
right.
the questions that we're going to
Off
ask
the questions.
you. And Slate, this is our very first
It's
time
our
having
first
a
time.
guest on the show, so we appreciate you coming here,
Slate is the
honored.
best.
being
I'm
patient
honored.
with us, just going along with us. Your 2 favorite teammates
This
that
is
you've
awesome.
ever had in the locker
This
room,
is
and being
awesome.
another great teammate once again, but this time in the Nut House locker room here at the Dude's house. So
Dude's house in
we
Boston.
appreciate
Dude's
you,
house.
man,
Dude's
and
house,
we want to
Boston.
figure out what kind of dude you are
Okay.
with the questions that we're going to ask you.
Let's see.
All right. Let's do this. First off, you got your notepad?
Oh, yes, I do. Well, I'm taking notes.
There we go.
Yeah.
And he's going to probably, spit some facts out there that we should probably listen to in life as well, because this is Slater.
Let's start
This
it off.
is Slater.
Let's start off with a hard one. What kind of dude do you think you are?
Ooh, that is tough. Because you want to be humble. Yeah. Or you don't.
What kind of dude do you think you want to be? What kind
Yeah.
of dude?
Yeah, I like to think the team dude. What was the description
Dudes
on the
dude?
A dude's dude.
I like to be a dude's dude.
Dudes, dude.
Bring the vibe up for
okay.
everybody.
Put that down, dudes, dude.
I see that.
Positive
I
influence on
saw
the
that
guy.
big time. Yeah, positive influence.
All right.
I never really seen you as a negative influence.
I
Never.
appreciate that, Rob.
Well, I
Never.
mean, Jules did a lot of negative things when you were his roommate. So what were you doing inside that house? What was going on? Was he a
Hey.
negative influence
No,
behind the
we made it.
scenes?
He made it out unscathed.
Unscathed.
So
See,
we're
positive
good,
influence. If
right?
he was not your roommate,
Hey.
we don't know. You would be on
We
the
got him to
Giants.
the
You
Hall
would be
of
on the
Fame. We got
Giants.
him
I'd be on the Giants. I'd be on the Giants.
You got him to the Hall of
There it
Fame.
is.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna take all the credit.
You
for that.
should.
All right, so dude.
All right.
Dude. That's what he
All
thinks.
right. Well, Slate, did you wear flip flops in the shower?
You have to wear flip flops in
Okay,
the shower.
You have
You
to.
have to.
You have,
have
to.
to.
Well, why is that? Why do you have to?
Because I seen some of them feet in there.
I
Can't
gotta
go
say-
in there without them. Can't do it.
I got some bad feet.
Uh,
Ran a lot of routes.
See my own feet. We gotta have them.
All right. So have to dudes. All right. Who's the most famous person in your phone?
Most famous person in my phone.
Yeah, most famous.
I mean, I would say one of you guys, but TB probably.
TB. Oh,
TB.
Tom.
all right.
Pretty famous.
All right.
Tom's
TB.
pretty famous.
Yeah.
TB's.
I would say
yeah.
he's up there.
TB's up there.
I mean,
Best
really,
quarterback
who's more
ever to play.
famous than TB anyways? He's
Right?
not the most famous
I
person
mean, this guy-
ever in
this
his
guy,
phone.
yeah.
We wish we had his number.
No,
Yeah.
you guys probably got all 5 of his cell phones.
Slate, bringing the heat. I
All
love
five.
it. All five.
This guy gets new cell phones like socks.
Come on, give me some knuckles on that one. That was good. That was good.
So TB. Okay.
All right. What was your college GPA?
3.1.
Ooh, three. Ooh.
Yeah, a little low, a little low.
was expecting higher.
I thought it was going to be way higher.
Slacking a little bit.
Oh,
3-1?
that's why you didn't make it into the Ivy League. Makes
Oh.
sense now. I'm disappointed with that one.
3-1.
But your GPA in the special teams world, I would say at least a 3.8.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Extracurriculars.
Too many video games.
Yeah.
a lot of
going on.
extracurriculars.
Too many video
What was
games.
the video
What-
game? What video game did you play?
Oh, we're playing NCAA
Okay,
football.
okay. I'm just making sure.
So
yeah.
you were a crazy maniac in college.
Yeah, we had an issue with the video game.
Okay.
We used to play as a team. We played each other, had a pot circulating. Now, some of those guys may be watching. They know who the best was. And it was me.
Slate, you're the
That's
best.
why I had the 3.1, because I was playing too many video games.
Slate.
At least you're the best one.
Did you play? Who'd you play with? What was your team on NC2A?
I would go
UCLA.
Ohio State,
With what year was
Ted
this?
Ginn.
Ted Ginn.
Oh,
We
Lions.
go-
Another
go-
special teamer.
We go 4 wide, spread it out, and then you had Troy Smith running quarterback. See, I can still remember my roster. We were good. We had that thing rolling.
What, he's hitting 4 verticals, looking
Oh,
off
get
safety.
it up, get it up.
User come
And then
in,
run
click
with
out.
run
and
with
stack
Troy
'em.
Smith. Get the edge.
I
Come
get
on.
it. All right. So NC2A played that. Okay, what was the song on your college highlight film?
Ooh,
Hmm.
I cannot recall.
Ooh, you can't recall.
I can't recall.
Sounds about right.
Played too much football.
Yeah.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah,
Played too
I've been
much
hitting the
football.
head. I've been hitting the head.
No
remember.
recall. Let me put that
That's not
on
good.
the notes.
That's
no
not
recall. No. Ooh, that could hurt you.
How many college offers did you get out of high school?
Ooh. I'm gonna say like 15, maybe.
Ooh.
What were you, a 3-star,
but honestly,
4-star?
I was a 3-star.
Oh, okay.
I was not Rob coming out.
15.
And funny enough,
I was just a 4-star.
I had
15. That's a
I
big
committed to go to Dartmouth out of high school. I was gonna go the Ivy League route when I was taking my studies seriously in high school. And you know, I chose to stay at home and go to UCLA and play at home. Play D1, obviously. So
number. I mean,
That
UCLA
that
still.
was a great choice.
UCLA.
it worked out. It worked out all right.
Top 5 public university.
Number one.
Top 5.
Number one.
Top
All
5.
those cow bears out there.
Berkeley, I mean,
Oh,
Berkeley.
it's us. No.
What about Arizona
Look at the
Wildcats,
latest.
man?
Look at the latest
Same
rankings.
division, same
Number
conference.
one. Cal,
UCLA.
you're number 2.
All right, Slate. Let's get back into this. Determine what kind of guy you are. What was your first car?
My first actual car was a Lexus
Ooh, Lexus.
GX
Fancy.
460,
Fancy.
and I got that my 3rd year in the league.
No,
Third year.
No,
what was your
before
first,
that, I was riding my dad's car.
first ever car? What was your first ever?
It was my dad's Lexus. He let me.
so you
He let
Lexus
me whip
family.
it around. Lexus.
Lexus family.
Toyota makes a good product. They make a good product.
Okay, what do you drive now?
Right now, I'm in an Audi
Audi.
electric e-tron.
Ooh, e-tron.
Wow.
One of the people for the earth.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, see? Taking
Oh,
notes.
Audi.
Taking notes. This is really
I
going to
can't go
determine.
electric?
No,
That's
no,
right.
Really
I
going
got
to
a Tesla.
determine what kind
All
of
right.
duty is.
All
This is
right.
good.
Wait,
This is good note
I
taking.
gotta put in
Julian.
parentheses electric.
Electric. Put that in parentheses.
Slate, what was your first endorsement deal?
My first endorsement deal, Reebok.
Reebok.
Oh.
Team Reebok.
You told Nike
This
to
was
kick rocks.
before Reebok cut me loose. Reebok cut me loose.
They cut you loose?
They cut me loose after my 3rd year.
Well, I think they cut
Then I
everyone
went on
loose.
to 10 Pro Bowls in Nike.
Yeah,
Nike.
take that, Reebok.
Thanks, Reebok.
We
Yeah,
I
never
think
mind.
we were,
You told Reebok to kick
Reebok
rocks.
kicked me in the curb.
but I think Reebok kicked everyone to the curb. They left the NFL.
They did.
Yeah,
well,
they
they had JJ. JJ was still wearing Reebok.
JJ?
JJ Watt. He was still wearing Reebok.
Was he wearing?
He had his own line of shoe, which I probably would have chosen JJ over me.
Oh,
as
JJ.
well.
Reebok. Let me see that. Reebok. All right.
Kind of like a throwback type of guy.
The old pumps. You don't know
I
pump
remember
cleats?
the pumps. I was in
That's
Reeboks
why you were
with
so
Pumps.
fast
I
out
was in
there.
Reebok.
I feel
Pump
you're
those
pumping up
things
those shoes. Good old Jim Wallen. You walk in the training room.
Jimbo.
Coach, I'm hurting. Just pump your shoes,
Just pump 'em
Slate.
up.
Get
Pump 'em
out of
up.
here. Pump those shoes.
Jimbo. I need to stay out of there with Jimbo early.
All right. What's the square root of 144?
Oh, I know, but I can't give him the answer.
144.
Can I phone a friend on this?
That's easy, Slate. Come on, man. You're committed to Dartmouth.
It's all right. We got it.
All
it's
right.
we,
All right.
72.
You're just messing
12.
with us.
4 times 12, 144. I don't know that. I thought we
See,
would
I'm
have
not
that.
a math guy.
Didn't know.
Edit that out.
Wait, you
Edit
really?
that part
Wait,
out.
you really don't know that?
It's 12.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Didn't know.
It's
Fast.
TB12.
Didn't know.
Fast. Not fast enough.
Describe your locker. Was it messy?
It was messy.
Clean? Oh, messy.
It was messy.
Straight mess.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bad.
Bad.
It was
When you're there
bad.
for so long, it's hard.
Yeah, man, I got all this
You're
stuff
right.
in there. I got 16 years worth of stuff.
Stuff.
So many
People sending in
accolades,
Yeah.
Bibles and stuff to Slate. I mean,
There's a
trophies,
there's a
game
lot of
balls,
stuff.
jerseys,
You get a new,
throwback,
you know-
uniforms,
Reeboks to Nikes
Yeah.
to this.
Right.
To, I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
gloves,
There's a lot of stuff.
16 years in one spot. A lot of
There's
stuff.
a lot of stuff.
stuff.
A lot of stuff.
All right.
Stuff.
I got one. If you weren't a pro athlete, who would you work for? Or what would you do?
Well, I've always had a passion for ministry. And
Yeah,
so
that's-
I think, my plan before I got drafted was to become a youth pastor. So that would have been the road I would have taken.
Pastor. I'll put that down.
All right.
That's PSATOR.
As a pastor now, and a fight breaks out at practice, what do you do?
Fellas, I'm going to do the same thing I did when Rob fought Michael Bennett at the end of the Seattle game.
Explain that.
Stop, fellas. Stop. I don't want guys fighting out there. But that's part of the deal sometimes. It's football. Like, this is a gladiator sport, so it happens.
All right. What's the most you've ever bench pressed?
I don't know.
You know.
I mean,
Yeah,
You were
do
you
know.
were in that
Come
weight
on
room
now.
a lot.
375.
375. That's
that was
acting
pre-
like he didn't.
No,
know.
that was
wait.
that was maybe pre the 4 shoulder surgeries I had.
Yeah.
So
Acted like he didn't know, but knew.
Mm-hmm.
375.
That explains a lot what type of guy he is.
oh man,
A trickster.
All right. Let's see.
Trickster. Have you ever been fined, and for how much?
I have been fined
Ooh.
Oh, from who?
Face mask?
From the NFL or from Coach
from the NFL.
Oh.
Face mask my rookie year,
Yeah.
right? In the preseason.
Oh.
I go my entire career. Don't get fined again. My last year, I get fined twice for, illegal crackback blocks because I'm trying to hustle and block for the returner.
You didn't save it.
No, I didn't save it. I went head hunting. Forearm shiver up high. No, James Thrash. I'm just kidding. James Thrash. James Thrash. I'm just kidding. I was not head hunting. Illegal crackback blocks.
So you're just running towards the other sideline.
Yeah, I'm just trying to finish my block.
Which is completely understandable for a guy that played in the era where it was okay to do that.
That's
so
right.
it's hard for him to change his mindset in the latter part of his career.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you change your mindset once you get fined. Then
That's
it
right.
really
That's
settles in.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of taking it that he's kind of a dirty player, dude.
Yeah.
A face mask? Like he's freaking
Playing hard.
Nah,
face
dude.
masking?
Playing hard, whistle to whistle.
Rob, getting fined twice, that's not that much.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing. What's your fastest 40 time?
Ooh.
I mean, now
you're
we all
fast.
know how this goes, right?
You're fast.
Man, I one time ran when I was training. I ran this.
Yeah, well, that's the one
I
we wanna
ran
hear.
4.28.
428.
Oh, woo.
4.
And we
when I
can't
was
argue
training.
that. Can't
When I
argue
was
that.
Well,
training.
I got a second on. What was your fastest 100 meter?
What
was your high school time?
High school, I ran 10.62.
10.62.
17.
Now, how fast do you think you could have got that if you were training as a man? If you put
I
the
think I
same
could've-
amount of man hours
I mean,
that you put into your special teams.
I don't like to talk about what I could have done and this, but
Are you
when
breaking
I ran
10?
when I ran in high school, I did not lift weights.
No
I didn't
squat.
lift any weights in high school.
Oh, you
And
could
I
have
was
been so much
17.
faster.
I was 17 my senior year. So I think I could have touched a 10.3, 10.2.
10.3, 10.2.
I mean, I ran over 23 miles an hour with pads.
with pads.
Oh my
23.
gosh.
So,
Fast.
yeah.
Was that your last year as well?
Oh, I wasn't running no 23 last year.
Okay. And then last.
21.8, 21.9.
21.8 still?
21.8.
All right, wait, last.
I was like 15.6. It was bad. It was
Right,
bad.
you got
I
up
just
and-
boxed
No,
out,
he
guys.
had it.
He
had
got
it.
up and
he
go.
had it.
Wait, last speed question. Could you beat Randy Moss in a 200?
Now, we had this debate.
Oh, I know.
We had this debate.
I
we
know.
argued this. I mean, look, in my prime,
In Randy's prime.
I could have been 10 meters behind him in my prime.
Chad O'Shea.
Hey,
Chad
look,
O'Shea took
I ain't
Slate.
going up against Randy Moss's speed, man. That's an all-time speed.
All right. Well, so he
What
said.
was,
we
Randy,
did,
what was
you know-
Randy's 40?
He
No
ran
one-
like a 4.1,
Oh,
didn't he?
No, he ran
No.
4.2.
Really?
I don't know if he ran,
Wow.
but he was
We
fast.
we
He
used to
he
mess with
wasn't
Randy.
running. He floats.
He does float. It's
Floats.
crazy. Because Randy was, like 32, 33. We were spry. And Chad O'Shea used to mess with Randy all the time. Slate can beat you. Slate can beat you. Randy didn't like that.
Hated it.
He didn't like that, but that was fun.
He'd be like, "Oh, Chatty-O." He'd be,
Hell no, Chatty-O.
All right.
When was the last time you cried?
Oh,
Besides when you heard you were coming on
Last
this
time I
episode.
cried.
last time you cried.
Tears of
Oh.
joy, but
You know what? I was at a funeral for Don Hasselbeck
Don Hassel
a couple of weeks ago.
funeral.
Great man, great mentor for my wife and I. And yeah,
great football family.
yeah, they really
Yeah.
are. They're
Great
great,
people all
They're
around.
great people.
Hasselbacks.
Whenever
Yeah.
I see Hasselback, I just always a great dude.
Always.
Yeah, they're
Always.
a tremendous family.
Really good on TV too.
Yeah, they
Very
are
knowledgeable.
sharp guys.
Sharp men.
What's a first date with you look like?
Ooh.
First date,
Who first date?
Yeah.
I like to go somewhere quiet where we can
Been a
actually
while,
where
but-
we can talk.
Walks and talks.
Okay.
Yeah, you go to a movie, you're not really talking. Dinner's a toss up. Maybe you just go hang out at the park or My wife and I, our first date was a Cheesecake Factory
Oh, beautiful.
with Gary Guyton. He
Gary.
was third wheeling it. He was third wheeling it. But, you know, it gave us an opportunity to talk. I mean, you got to talk on a date. You got to get to know one another.
Now, really important question to follow up on that. What cheesecake did you guys order?
Oreo cheesecake.
Of course.
Come on.
Oh, so good.
The best.
Oreo.
Quick story about Gary Guyton. When I was a rookie, he was the linebacker here for the Patriots, and he made me feel like I couldn't play, you know, at this level in the NFL because he jammed me on my very first route, and I didn't get off the line of scrimmage for about 5 seconds, and then he finally backed up, and the ball was already thrown. And I was 1 yard off the line of scrimmage when Tom threw that ball. So Gary, you made me feel really uncomfortable out there.
I think it worked out all right.
It did. It
worked
did.
out all right.
You need that.
I think
though.
you figured
need
You
to
need
work
that. You need that.
to welcome to the
It
NFL.
woke me up.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
okay,
right.
I gotta really focus off this line
That's
of
right.
scrimmage.
Well,
That's right.
In the light of where we're at, some would call that a NFL baptism.
Some would.
We gotta wrap this up. This
Okay.
went a little longer than we
What
anticipated.
you didn't do with your 4 kids?
What's that?
He said we got to wrap it up. I said, what you didn't do with your 4 kids? It's getting a little out of control.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Get them. Yes, there we
What
go.
the Bible says.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what you shall do, right?
That's it.
And that's
doing
why I'm
my
asking you
job.
questions about
Just
it at the
doing my
beginning.
job.
I shall do my job
That's it.
eventually.
What's the last book we read?
Last book, The Psychology of Money.
Does a lot to you.
It talks about, you know, how our perspectives sometimes shift once we start making money, and how greed really plays a huge factor in a lot of people experiencing financial ruin. And I think, you know, that is very true, especially in America. So,
Mm-hmm.
Man, I gotta read that.
Wow.
yeah.
But what is it called?
The Psychology of Money.
Wow.
That's PY. Okay, just making sure.
Wow, Slate.
Two
We're
more.
learning.
Two more.
I told you.
Your last
I
one.
told you Slate's going to be a great
Yeah,
guest, man. He's going to keep us, you know, straight edge.
definitely.
That's what he's
I
doing.
like that.
We're learning from him. That's what
Straight
we
edge.
needed.
We're learning a lot
Yes.
from him.
And we already knew a lot about him.
We knew everything about him, but now
That's
we're
right.
learning more.
Yeah.
You got one more question, and I'll go one more question.
All right. This is a good one. This is
Okay.
a good one. Because we really haven't talked about this category with you yet. How did you prepare your steak? Yeah.
Ooh.
Were you like an absolute dog animal out
So,
there? Just a wild one? Just
I'm
eating
going-
it rare?
Now here's an inside track for you guys. If you ask 10 black folks how they prepare their steak, 7 of them are gonna say, "Well done." Okay.
Are you in
And
the
I
three?
came up a well done guy. And then I started hanging out with my brothers from the other. And I realized that medium, maybe medium rare is the way to go.
Slade.
So I'm a medium guy.
Medium,
I'm a medium guy.
Medium guy.
Yeah,
Likes
medium
it a little
guy,
raw.
man.
Converted me.
And then lastly, how do you eat that steak?
Depends on who's around.
By yourself.
I had to go hands.
Oh.
Ain't going no hands. Ain't going
Oh, do you-
fork knife.
No, you're by yourself. I like that.
I mean, when you get down to the
do you
bone,
pick up the
you
bone?
gotta go
Do
hands.
you pick it up with your hand? The
You
bone?
gotta go
And just
hands when you're
eat
with
the
the
rest?
bone, right?
Hands.
If it's me
Eats
and my
what's left
sons,
on that bone?
me
Just
and my
gnaw it?
sons, we're going bone.
Okay.
My
You
daughter,
gotta
my
teach 'em
wife
you-
are around. I gotta use the fork and knife.
You're teaching
respectful.
the boys
Yeah,
that
we
you got to
gotta-
get all the meat.
You gotta
No
get it
meat
all.
left behind.
That meat close to the bone is some of the best meat on that steak.
Well, I think we got all our stuff. Let's 1 sec. We're gonna.
Yeah, let's go review this. Ernie, shall we go to the
We're going to
booth?
the booth.
We're going to the booth.
We're going to the booth. Ernie
We're going
said
to
we
the
shall.
booth.
We got to
go to the
look
booth.
this over.
So you see, yeah, he thinks he's a dude's dude. He was 3.1. I thought he was going to be higher.
Me too. So he's really not a whiz.
4.2 though,
mean,
fast.
Oh, yeah,
There's,
that's freaky. That's freaky, Jules.
Academic, read about money.
Oh.
Academic. And he likes his steak medium, and he
Yeah.
also eats it with the hands when no one's around,
Mhm.
but preferably uses fork and knife around women.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
you know that?
I
We're on
got
the same
you.
page?
Yes, definitely. Mm-hmm.
On 3, what do we think he is? 1, 2, 3. Whiz. Yeah,
Whiz.
we think you're whiz. As we kept on saying throughout this interview, we kept on learning about new stuff. I learned that greed is the root to people losing their money.
Evilness.
I learned that if you're 6'5" and a dog, you could play special teams for 12 years. I learned so much about Osgood. I mean,
Yes, I mean, I was a little disappointed with your GPA, but there's a lot of factors that were into that. You were
I am
committed to
too.
Dartmouth because you
I
were
am
actually
too.
that smart. But
He got
you
into
were-
Dartmouth.
You were doing
am.
so many other things as well, like being an all-star in the video game world and being
I
a
was,
brainiac
right?
there. And that was helping you out on the field. And you knew that was your real master of
I'm
your
gonna go
life
with
was
that. I'm
football.
gonna tell my
So
wife that
still
later,
at
too.
3.1, you got by and you didn't even care about what was going on in the school world.
Yeah.
You still got a 3.1, but you were a master with a 4.0 on the field and in video games and made a lot of money doing that to take care of your family.
There it is.
You know what? And also,
Guy's smart.
you have to be a wizard to be a teamer for 16 years in this fucking league. It's real. Like, that's what people don't understand. For you to constantly innovate yourself each year to bring value to a team where they're literally giving up a roster spot for you to just play special teams, that's unheard of. 16 years, Pro Bowler 13 years, All Pro 11 years, whatever. That's a wizard. That's a wizard. It's freaking. That's like some Harry Potter shit, Slate. I know you're religious and you don't read that stuff, but it's like Harry Potter's magic.
I'll take it.
Mhm.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Slate, we appreciate you coming on the show, being our first guest here on Dudes on Dudes. We weren't really sure how it was going to go, but I can tell you this, you took it, to a whole nother level with us, man. We felt really comfortable with you. And not just on top of it that you're a whiz, man, you're a dude's dude as well. You
Yeah.
bring the team
You're
together.
dog, you're all of
You're a
them.
dude's dude. You're a dog
You're a
out there
stud.
on
I
the
appreciate it,
on the
fellas.
field. But the main aspect of your life is that you are a wizard, man. So
You are.
that's why
Appreciate it.
you are a whiz.
And
Can I just say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just say one thing. I am very proud of the two of you guys for how you've transitioned out of the game and how successful this next chapter is for both of you guys. Keep killing it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna shed a single tear.
Me too.
I'll shed a tear. I feel like this
That
is
was really
eggnog
nice.
time back in 2010.
eggnog
You know
time.
something? You're a stud as well now. That was studly what you just said.
Thanks.
That was
Very-
I appreciate it.
And that was the Chillest Dude of the Week, thanks to our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dudes. And remember, always celebrate responsibly. Well, that's been our first episode of Dudes on Dudes with a guest, Matthew Slater.
Thank you to Matthew Slater for joining us today. Give him a round of applause.
Round of
everyone.
applause.
Job well done. Job
Thanks,
well done.
fellas.
Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Comment a dude you want us to hang out with and interrogate and ask questions to and rate and review.
Call in and ask questions on the Chill line. That number is 561-203-5789. And remember to follow Dudes on Dudes on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok for another 60 days. Still here, I think. Tariffs in effect.
Limited time only.
And Snapchat. We'll see you, dudes and dudettes, next week. Dudes on Dude is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.